my first 100 miler, and I'm actually really excited about it because it starts and finishes right across the street from that treatment center I went to.
That's what I was going to ask you. What did you think when you found out, like, oh man, this is full circle here?
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
Standing on that start line felt different. Behind me was the treatment center, the place where my life once fell apart. Now in front of me was 100 miles. And somehow I was standing right between my past and my future. For the first time, I wasn't running from who I used to be. I was looking forward and grateful for how far God had brought me.
One mile down, 99 to go.
Wow, did it feel good to get going. The first part of it was all asphalt. We ran through Butte. Early morning, it was still dark, so plenty of places I could sneak off and use the bathroom, but I was just trying to keep it slow and steady and make it to the first aid station.
Miles in, 90 to go.
Reaching that first aid station and getting off that asphalt, that's when it hit me. We were really in it now. The road was behind us, the trail was ahead, and there was no turning back. At the first aid station, it was time to get serious, so I changed into my Mount Dakota H1s, tried to get some food in me, and prep for the trail. And through it all, I was reminded and definitely grateful for how great these volunteers were to keep us moving. Out here, I felt strong. Every climb, every rock formation, every new section of trail felt like a gift. I ran when I could, hiked when I needed to, and just soaked it all in. I was exactly where I wanted to.
Good job, babe.
There you go.
Rolling into the second aid station, I was feeling strong. I was eating, drinking, staying on top of everything, and honestly just enjoying the day. Everything was clicking, and I felt ready for whatever came next.
All of a sudden, you wake up in the morning and you're shaking so bad, you're covered in sweat, and you wish that you were dead. And the only thing that's going to help you is what's making you sick. So you sleep with the bottle in your bed. And at 3 in the morning, you wake up to drink so you don't have to feel that way. And, there's times where, I was living in my parents' shop, which was out back of their house, and I would be so sick I'd throw up, and the amount of blood that would be in my vomit that I'd vomit in the yard would scare me, and I'd try to forget about it.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Love you.
I love you too.
And around this time, I actually found a feather on the trail, and I decided to pick it up, and it stayed with me for the rest of the journey.
All right, that's 50K, 70 miles to go.
From Pipestone to Homestick Pass, everything just started to flow. I felt strong, I felt smooth, and for a while, the miles just seemed to come easy. But somewhere in that stretch, I started thinking about how far I'd come, not just on this trail, but in my life. I thought about where I'd been and all the people who helped me get here, and all the things, I thought I'd never be able to do. I found myself feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. I looked around at the mountains, took a deep breath, and just thanked God. Not because it was easy, but because I was finally here, moving forward, getting a chance to experience something I thought I never would.
Station. 43 miles in, heading towards Homestake Aid Station.
Coming into Homestake, I saw my parents for the first time. They had driven down to be there with me, and seeing them meant more than I could put into words. When I was younger, they used to take me to baseball games all over the state and different sporting events, so this kind of was like a blast from the past. By this point, my legs were starting to feel the miles. My legs knew how far we'd come, but I still knew the hardest parts were yet to come. Seeing my crew gave me another reason to keep moving, because right in front of me was the massive climb to Our Lady of the Rockies. But I was ready to take it on, refilled the vest.
How you feeling?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You shaking?
Okay.
A little?
You know, it was a really tough time. Living out of my truck for a little bit at the end there. Losing all my friends. I wouldn't want to be around me either. I was a very mean person when I drank, and luckily this is, I ruptured my ACL playing rugby. I tried, I'm picking up all these new things, trying to figure out. Well, I wanted to get healthy in a way, so I picked up rugby. Then I ruptured my ACL. I'm not even kidding. Like the second or first game ever playing rugby, and I had to get my ACL repaired.
$50 miles in, halfway done. The rain showed up. That's perfect. It's not too hot out. Doing a big climb to the Our Lady of the Rockies, biggest climb of the race. So let's get it done. Fall serpent number 3. So if you do this, be prepared.
Standing here at the top, looking at Our Lady of the Rockies, I couldn't help thinking about being a kid. I used to see that statue out of the car window every time we drove to Fairmont for vacation. Back then, I never imagined that one day I'd be standing up here. But it's funny how life brings you back to these places that you only saw once through a window.
Well, it's nighttime. So you know what that means. Night ops activated. Let's go finish this thing. Tell me all your thoughts on God. Tell me right very far.
And so I will go in. I have the surgery. I remember I drank the morning of my surgery. It was pretty sad. But that was the last drink I had. I had the surgery, and I was sitting in my parents' house, and I didn't even know it, but I started hallucinating, thinking that people were coming to like attack the house. It was bad. My parents decided to take me to the ER. I don't remember any of it. I just remember waking up in the ICU a couple days later and realizing this is insane.
Heck yeah, sun's coming up. It's always a good sign. Done.
Picked up these.
Got what, 20 to 23 miles left?
Roughly.
It's gonna be a slow one, but we're getting done.
About 85 miles, 30 hours in. My heel was just one giant blister from the marathon the week before. The rain wouldn't let up. Every step was agony, and I was just angry. I was sick of hurting, sick of being wet, sick of all the rocks. I was sick of all the fighting. I was just sick. It was morning, but somehow this is when the darkest part of the race happened. I was brought down to a hike, and honestly, I didn't know how much fight I had left. I knew I'd finish, but I wasn't finishing how I wanted to. Thank God for my girlfriend. When I couldn't find another reason to move, she became one. She kept me moving when all I wanted to do was stop.
What was it when you wake up in the ICU unit? Your parents there? Are you by yourself?
When I first woke up, I was all by myself, and they had an external catheter on me that was leaking, so I pissed myself. I was laying in my own urine, and I was all by myself. Yeah, I remember that very vividly. Yeah.
And was that when you were like, okay, I gotta fix this?
No, honestly, I didn't feel anything at that moment. I was in shock. I don't think I was in shock. I knew I finally was there. I was
You
like,
did.
okay. In the back of my head, I always knew I was gonna die from alcoholism. I knew I was gonna die, and I kind of wanted to.
You did.
Yeah, I didn't want to wake up like that anymore. I didn't like disappointing everybody. I didn't like all that. It's just a spiral because then you drink to cover that up, and
Yeah.
I never knew about my issues of dealing with feeling inadequate and all of that I figured out, later on in treatment.
Yeah.
It just spirals.
Mile 90, 10 to go. It's time to finish this thing.
Coming into town, I could finally run a little again, but honestly, the pace didn't matter anymore. I was completely overwhelmed with gratitude. For every person who believed in me, for my parents being there, for the volunteers who kept showing up, for the friends I made along the way, for God carrying me through the moments where I wasn't sure I can keep going. And especially thank you to my girlfriend. Without her, I could not have done this at all. I thought about where my life had been and where I was standing now. I was exhausted, I was hurting, and I was emotional, but I was still here. With every step through those streets, I realized this. This race had become so much bigger than running. This was about being given another chance to live.
I called up the first treatment center I went to the last two times. They wouldn't take me for my insurance and the fact that I was fresh out of knee surgery. I finally kind of got a little like, okay, we might be able to take you. And so I bugged them. I was calling them like crazy. Finally, they're like, well, you need to go to your surgeon, get cleared. So I'm like, okay, and I can't drive. So I'm like, talk to my parents, like, hey, we need to go to the doctor. Let's do all this. And finally, they said, okay, we have a bed for you. Come on down. My parents brought me down there, but it was a fight just to get in because nobody wanted me with, fresh out of knee surgery. I mean, while I was there, I wasn't allowed to grab my own chair. I couldn't grab my own meal because I had to be on crutches the whole time. They did this walk around the block there.
Yeah.
That I tried the first day. I tell you what, that was probably harder than my first 50K. That was so hard. And I got in trouble to the point they were going to kick me out, that if they saw me without my crutches, they were going to kick me out. But I tell you what, coming from somebody who never really liked to ask for help, it taught me to ask for help real quick.
There's a treatment center that I went to 2.5 years ago. And on this bike path, they used to go on walks that I was not allowed on because I was on crutches from an ACL surgery. Well, 2.5 years later, I come back to Butte. And that's the finish line for the Copper Kings 100. And I'm up next. Hey, just don't give up before the miracle happens. It's really coming. Trust God. It's all you need. Do hard things, man. Keep going.
Coming up to that finish line, I thought about the person I was 2.5 years ago. He never would have believed he'd be standing here. After everything I've been through, somehow I was still here, still moving, still fighting, still alive. This finish line wasn't just the end of 100 miles, it was a reminder of how far God had brought me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh! Yeah. Yeah. Nice to find you. Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, that was great. Actually, that walk that you finished, that was yeah, that was great. That was a ton of fun. Yeah, let me get that. Yeah, he's just great. Thank you. Yeah. See if this I mean, it is.
What advice would today's Riley give that Riley that was on the brink of not being here? What would you tell that version of yourself?
Do not give up before the miracle happens. It's coming. It really is. Just don't give up. Even if you're moving an inch forward a day or a centimeter forward a day, just move a little bit.
Forward is a pace, right?
Forward is a pace.